Welcome back to The Yield. If you watched Chapter 4, you know this already. Financial intelligence is not about how much you earn, it is about how much you keep, and what you do with what you keep. But Chapter 5 takes things further, because Robert Kiyosaki is about to tell you something that most people never hear. He is going to tell you that the rules of money are not fixed, that the people who built the world you live in, they made the rules up. And if you are smart enough, brave enough, and financially literate enough, you can make up rules too. Chapter 5 is called The Rich Invent Money. Let us get into it. Kiyosaki opens this chapter with a question. He asks, if you had a choice between being talented or being bold, which would you choose? Most people say talent. They are wrong. He tells us about a man, a real estate developer he knew personally. This man had no degree, no formal financial training, no inheritance, but he had something rare. He had the ability to spot opportunity where other people saw nothing. One day, this developer found a piece of land, a large, unwanted block on the edge of a city. The land was cheap because nobody wanted it. 1,000 people had walked past it. 1,000 people had seen nothing. This man looked at it and saw something different. He saw a housing estate. He saw roads, houses, families, a community. He began to put together a deal. He went to the landowner and negotiated the right to buy the land without paying for it yet. He secured an option, a reservation, a right to purchase. Then he went to a developer and said, I have land. Build houses on it and share the profit with me. Then he went to a bank and said, I have a developer and a plan. Give us the finance. He put together a deal, land, developer, finance, and he never used his own money. When the deal closed, he earned hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he started with nothing. Kiyosaki calls this inventing money. Not working for money, not saving money, inventing it. Now pause, because I know what you might be thinking. That sounds like something only people in rich countries can do. That sounds like it needs connections, credentials, some kind of special access. I want to challenge that directly, because in Tanzania, in Nigeria, in Kenya, in Ghana, this is happening, right now. Young people are acquiring land cheaply in areas outside the main cities. They are watching the roads being built, the new developments moving outward, and they are positioning themselves before the price moves. Some of them are doing it with borrowed money. Some are pooling resources with friends. Some are negotiating seller financing, where the landowner lets them pay over time while they develop. They are doing exactly what Kiyosaki describes. They are not waiting for a salary to make them rich. They are inventing deals. The method is the same. The geography is ours. So if this is possible, why does almost nobody do it? Kiyosaki is very direct about this. He says, the single biggest obstacle between most people and financial opportunity is fear. Not lack of money, not lack of opportunity, fear. And he is not talking about the fear of failure in general. He is talking about two very specific fears. The first fear is the fear of losing money. Most people, when they think about investing, think about loss first. What if it goes wrong? What if I lose everything? What if I look stupid? And because that thought comes first and comes fast, they never move. They stay safe. They stay poor. They call it being careful. The second fear is the fear of being rejected. When you are trying to put together a deal, you have to talk to people. You have to negotiate with sellers. You have to pitch to investors. You have to convince banks. Most people cannot handle hearing no, so they never ask. Kiyosaki says, the rich are not without fear. They feel the same fears you feel. The difference is they do not let fear make their decisions. They feel it. They move anyway. Here's where it gets important. Being bold without knowledge is just gambling. Kiyosaki is not telling you to run out and make reckless decisions. He is telling you that boldness combined with financial intelligence is what creates wealth. And financial intelligence has 4 components. He lists them clearly. The first is accounting, the ability to read numbers, to look at a balance sheet, a profit and loss statement, a cash flow report, and understand what it is telling you. You do not need to be an accountant, but you need to understand money well enough that numbers do not intimidate you. The second is investing, the science of putting money to work, understanding how money makes more money, knowing the difference between a good deal and a bad one. The third is understanding markets, supply and demand, what people want, what is scarce, what is growing, what is dying. This is why a property in a developing corridor outside Dar es Salaam might be a better investment than a property in the city center right now. Supply and demand. The fourth is the law, understanding what you can do legally, how to structure a deal, how to use a company to protect your assets, how to take advantage of tax benefits that are legal and available. These 4 things together, that is financial intelligence. And financial intelligence is learnable. It is not given at birth. It is not assigned by class or background. You build it. That is why you are here. Kiyosaki makes a point in this chapter that I find profound. He says, in every market, in every economic condition, the right knowledge always finds an opportunity. When markets crash, the financially intelligent buy cheap. When markets boom, the financially intelligent sell. When there is confusion and uncertainty, the financially intelligent look for deals that others are too scared to see. He talks about how many of the world's greatest fortunes were made not during times of prosperity, but during times of crisis. The people who got rich in a recession were not lucky. They were prepared. They had built their financial intelligence before the moment arrived. And when the moment came, they moved while everyone else was paralyzed. Think about this for where you are. If you are in Tanzania right now, you are watching infrastructure being built. Roads, ports, rail lines. Land values in certain corridors will shift dramatically in the next decade. That is not speculation. That is observable. The question is whether you are building the knowledge now to act when the moment is right. If you are in the UK, in America, in Germany, you are watching interest rates shift. You are watching certain property markets and business sectors move. The same principle applies everywhere. The market always gives the prepared something to work with. Here's the hard truth Kiyosaki tells in this chapter. Most people take the path of least resistance. They go to school, get a job, earn a salary, spend the salary, and wait. They wait for a raise. They wait for a promotion. They wait for circumstances to improve. And while they wait, the opportunities pass. Not because the opportunities were not there, but because they were not positioned to see them. He talks about how every day, deals exist in every city, every economy, every sector. Land being sold below value. Businesses being sold by people who are tired or struggling. Products that people need but that no one is supplying yet. Every day these deals exist, but most people cannot see them because they have not trained their eyes, because their mind is still running the old program: get a job, earn money, spend money, repeat. The rich invent money because they have retrained their minds to see differently. So what do you actually do with all of this? Kiyosaki gives 3 practical things. First, train your financial intelligence continuously. Read, study deals, understand numbers, build accounting basics. This is a lifelong practice, not a one-time thing. Second, look for deals in your environment. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start looking now. Even if you cannot act yet, start training your eyes to see opportunity. Ask yourself, what does this neighborhood need that it does not have? What asset is being sold cheaply and why? What problem exists here that nobody has solved yet? Third, overcome the fear of losing by starting small. You do not start by inventing $1 million deal. You start by understanding a small deal, practicing on paper, building confidence with knowledge before you build it with money. Kiyosaki says, the size of your deal is not the lesson. The lesson is learning how to see the deal at all. Start small. Learn the process. The size will come with experience. Chapter 5 is a chapter about mind before money. It is a chapter that tells you the game is played in your head first. The people who are winning financially, they are not necessarily smarter than you. They are not necessarily better connected. They saw differently. They moved through fear. They trained their intelligence, and then they acted. That is available to you, not one day. Starting with the knowledge you are building right now. Every chapter you understand is another layer of your financial intelligence. Every concept that clicks is your mind starting to see differently. Stay the course. Now, if Chapter 5 was about inventing opportunity, Chapter 6 is about something that will change the way you see work forever. Kiyosaki is about to ask you, why do you work? And I promise you, the answer he gives is not the one you expect. He is going to show you that most people are working for the wrong reason. And that understanding the right reason changes every financial decision you make from that moment forward. Chapter 6. Work to learn, not to earn. It is on this channel. Do not let someone else explain it to you first.